Alright, so this is a series that I personally love, and I know some people don't like it because they think it's kind of middle of the road, they think it's kind of boring, but I would ride or die for Komi. I love Komi-san. I think that she is a great character. She's one of my favorite characters I think that I've ever seen drawn. Like the way that she is, the way that she talks when she does speak, which is like extremely rarely. She has like a really soft voice. And I'm talking about the anime. But yeah, I will 100% collect this whole series, and I really don't do that often for manga series that are super long. Like this one is extremely long. I think it's in like the 20s now for the volumes. But I will collect it all. I've collected up to volume 16. I have up to volume 16 there. I think it's a really wholesome series. Though parts of it get a little questionable. Like there's one part that like turns into like Baki the Grappler meets like prison school, where they're like at a sauna and some like really questionable things happen between all the dudes, and it was hilarious. Like I just thought it was really funny, and like I haven't read that far into the manga, but I watched it in the anime, and it was hilarious. Like I couldn't stop laughing when I saw that, and yeah, I just really like this series a lot. And like I said, I have up to volume 16, buying it every so often, just to have all of Gomi Can Communicate, and it's just one of those series is that like I just want to own the whole set, even though it's eating up a lot of space on my shelves. And like I don't like collecting things like that, like if I'm gonna pick up a series that's like super long, I want to get it in like an omnibus volume, because it's a lot easier to store than having like single volumes that just chew up a lot of space. So like I don't mind having like smaller volumes, as long as it's something that's gonna end maybe in like 13 volumes or 10 volumes or something, just because like it's not gonna eat up a lot of space. Like I don't think I would ever collect Naruto because it's like 60 volumes deep, and I just don't have that kind of space to have like 60 volumes of Naruto. Not that I'm complaining, like so I would 100%, if I had the room, I would collect all that Naruto. Like I mean, I have Itachi tatted on my arm, so I would if I had the space I would, but I just don't have the space. But I'll do it for Komi Can't Communicate, because I love Komi as a character and I love the story, and I'm rooting for her to communicate. I have a video coming up. I talked about this in another video. I can't remember which one. I think it was my Ghost Reaper Girl video. I'd mentioned that I'm going to be doing a video soon about like awkward romance manga. Yeah, I ended up picking up Mysterious Girlfriend X. I've got No Matter What You Say, Fuji-san is Scary, Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible, and then I'm waiting on my Dress Up Darling volumes 1 and 2, which I ordered from somebody on Mercari. And then I'm also going to buy another series that I forget the name of, but I'll put it right there. I'll put the series right there. So pretty much my goal is to do a video and just talk about like 5 random like awkward romance manga series. And Mysterious Girlfriend X is something that I've known about for a really long time. I remember hearing about the anime in like the mid-2000s, which is when I was like really deep into watching anime. I really don't watch that much of it anymore. I do watch like some of the more popular stuff right now, just because I don't have time to go looking for obscure anime. I just don't want to either. Like I don't have that kind of time. And I really do want to talk about this series. Like I just got this like yesterday, and I'd ordered it like last week or so. And since like pretty much the whole set is available, I'm going to end up collecting all of it, and I'm going to talk about it in my awkward romance video that I have coming up soon. I started reading Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. I think this is really cute. I'm like halfway through it. Volume 2, I'm going to have Volume 2 on Tuesday, so that'll probably be in my next haul, which will be like, July, August? That'll probably be in that haul in like 2 months from now. And then No Matter What You Say, Fuji-san is Scary. This just looked interesting. It kind of reminded me of like Komi Can't Communicate, and like Hitomi-chan is Shy with Strangers. So yeah, pretty much like this girl is like looks terrifying, but she's actually really sweet. It's just kind of like the same case with like Komi and Hitomi, where they're both really cute girls that like are just really awkward and they scare people. And this one's just super cute. I like her designs. I like her character. She's just like that one girl that's super extroverted that like won't leave an introverted dude alone. And I dated a girl like that once who's like really outgoing, and then I'm like super introverted. So like I definitely connect to this on like a certain level from when I was a teenager. So I think this is a really cute one, and I want to see where it's gonna go. And this is definitely gonna be in my awkward romance manga video. And like I said, Mysterious Girlfriend X, I just really want to collect it because this is a classic. And I'm going to end up collecting all of it. And then maybe like once I've read all of it, I'll do a why you should read about it. Or even just do like a let's talk about. Or some kind of video about it. Because, yeah, I feel like because of the fact that it is available and you can collect all of it, I feel like people should check it out. And I never watched the anime, so I think this is a good time to get into it. Ghost Reaper Girl. So I already talked about this series. I did a video about Ghost Reaper Girl. I think it's a really good manga. I love the artwork in it. The mangaka had done Rosario Vampire, which I really like the anime. Never read Rosario Vampire. I'm actually like right now trying to see if I can get my hands on Rosario Vampire, the manga set. See if I can get the whole manga set. Though it looks like it's censored, which kind of annoys me. Not that I'm like big into fan service or anything, but like if I'm gonna own something, like I don't want it to be censored, because in the original Japanese it's not censored, and I kind of hate that they do that. You know, with certain things, like I just don't like censorship in general. Like I don't think art should ever be censored. First volume is solid. Excited to see what's gonna happen in volume 2. Wasn't really sure. Like I wasn't gonna check it out, but a friend of mine, my friend Justin, really liked it. He said it was good, so based on that, and I trust his opinion, I ended up checking it out, and it is actually really good. I thought it was just going to be like some shoujo type of story that I wasn't really going to connect with, but I liked it. I'm not to say that I don't like shoujo. I'm not really that well versed in shoujo. So if there's anything shoujo that you think I should check out, I will definitely check it out. I know somebody recommended me Nana, and I'm gonna get on it at some point. I got to see if I can get my hands on it, if it isn't like super difficult to come by, but I'll definitely add that to my collection. If I can get my hands on the volume of Nana, I will 100% buy it and check it out. Gantz! Gantz Volume 9. I'm pretty sure we are still in Osaka in this volume. I forgot how long the Osaka arc was, but I'm collecting all of these big boy Gantz volumes. I'm kind of sad that they're so small, considering that like I'm pretty sure like the single volumes are like bigger than these omnibus volumes. And I just think it would be cool like if these were available in like the big boy like Berserk volumes, you know, like the Berserk and Hellsing volumes are like this tall. I think it would be really cool, you know, if they were like that big, because the artwork is cool and the situations are pretty wild for this story. And I mean, I'm pretty sure there's still a long way to go, considering that I feel like there's still like a whole other arc that comes before we get into like the final arc, which I won't spoil, but I kind of have a feeling that like I'll know, you know, once it starts getting into the final arc of the series. But I don't know who's, you know, keeping up with all of it. I hope that if you are reading that you'll, you know, keep up with it. I've read all of it already. I read all of it a long time ago, but I read it on like a scan site, so I figured, you know, now that I can, and now that I'm like in a much better place monetarily, like I want to support it and support this creator, because I read pretty much all of Gantz for free. I didn't pay for any of it to read it, and there's definitely that lingering guilt, you know, where it's like I didn't support it, and now that I can, I'm going to, and I have all of it up through 9, so yeah, I'm just gonna keep adding these to the shelf, even if there are like 20 of them, because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be like a ton of these before we get to the end of Gantz. Alrighty, we're almost there, just like 4 more series to go and we're done. I really didn't want this video to be super long, but it's kind of inevitable when you almost have 50 volumes, and I like to talk about the stuff that I'm collecting. We got Bakemonogatari Volume 4, 5. Just want to make sure that I'm actually correct. Yep. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I love the artwork. Yeah, I love Nishio Isin's artwork. Like I love the colorfulness of the covers and everything. You know, like this is a series that is extremely wordy. This is like the opposite of Shuzo Oshimi. Yeah, this dude writes so much text. Like one panel will be just like, it's just like, dude, just write a book, which he has. This is based on the book series, so obviously I'm just making a joke. Please don't attack me. The panels are solid. I really like the artwork quite a bit, and I was gonna do a video about the series, but I figured not. That I just ultimately decided not to do a video about it because it also follows like just so much other lore. Like the lore for the Monogatari series is insane, and I just don't have the time or mental capacity to do all that research to talk about the actual novels, and then you know these, and then there's like a whole bunch of animated series. There's like a whole bunch of animated series, and then there's also like some films, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's a film or something, or more than one film. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read all of it. I really wanted to just get my hands on it before something happens. I don't want to end up getting hooked on the Monogatari series and then I can't, you know, read the other volumes because they're sold out or whatever. Because that ends up happening a lot. And this is up into like the 20s, I think, volume-wise. And yeah, if I'm going to end up checking this out, I want to be able to continue it and see where it's going to go with this massive story. Because this is like a fraction of the overall collection. Monster Volume 9. So, mistakenly, I thought that Monster was only 8 volumes, but apparently it's 9 volumes, and I didn't even realize that until much later. After I'd like bragged about owning all of Monster, do I then realized that I was missing a volume. Because I was so happy that I finally got my hands on, like, I think it was Volume 5, that was like an elusive volume that I couldn't get my hands on. And then come to find out there's actually one more volume. So now I officially do have all of Monster, and I don't know when I'm going to get into this series, but I will probably be getting into it really soon. I'm excited to check this out. Like, these volumes are massive, so there was a lot of story that Urasawa, you know, wrote for this. And I like that he just is able to write such expansive stories. You know, like he's got his stories based on Mighty Atom, the stories Pluto, the collection that he wrote with, you know, with the blessing of Makoto Tezuka, Osamu Tezuka's eldest son, and he's got like so much other stuff. Like he's got 20th Century Boys, which is another classic, and then he also has the other story that he's writing, or I don't know if he's still writing it or not, or if it's already written and it's just now being translated into English, which is Asadora. And I'm collecting those volumes as well. I have like volumes 1 through 3, I think, of Asadora, and I'll probably be collecting more of it as time goes on. We are almost at the end. Boom, we've got Hellsing Volume 1. This was a lot of work to come by. These volumes were sold out for like a really long time, and I didn't get it when I had the chance, like a long time ago. Like when these first came out, like I had a chance to get them for really cheap. I think this was like $30, and I didn't get it. And I ended up paying like $47 for this volume. I'm excited to own it because I love this series. I haven't read the manga like at all. I was a huge fan of the anime. Like I'd watched the original Hellsing in the 2000s, and then I saw Hellsing Ultimate in like 2015 or so, and I thought Hellsing Ultimate was really good. And I think Hellsing Ultimate like is supposed to follow this original story a lot better than the original anime did. And I figured, you know, I've already seen the original anime, and then I saw the Ultimate one, which I thought was really good. I think Ultimate was really good, and I figured, you know, it was time to read it to see where it all started with Alucard and these big boy volumes, which are really heavy, and I love it. I don't have volume 2 or 3 yet, but I will be owning them, so you'll probably see those in my next haul, and that'll complete the whole set because it's only it's a 3-volume set. I like the artwork. I like how it's just beautiful. I love how beautiful this man's drawings are. Like, it's so cool. I don't want to spread it out too much because I don't want anything to happen to it. I'm really careful with my stuff, and I like things to I like things to be nice and neat. But just, like, look at that artwork. It's so beautiful. It smells like a fresh new book. I literally just cracked this open earlier so I could start reading it because I couldn't contain my excitement and I just wanted to, like, finally just start reading it. If you've read this series, you know that it's worth owning in the hardcover edition because the artwork is so good. And it's only like 3 volumes, so it shouldn't really take you that long to read through it, especially like once you get going and once you see the characters and how just incredible the artwork is and how much fun of a story it is. And it's definitely like 90s as hell, you know, so I really recommend checking it out. If you don't already have it in your collection, I would definitely add it before it goes out of stock again. I save the legend for last, the masterwork of Kentaro Miura, Berserk, Volume 9 and Volume 10. Kentaro Miura's really close friend picked up Berserk along with, I think, some of Miura's assistants. I think it was like some of Miura's assistants. I can't remember the whole story, but it's being brought back to be completed. I don't know how anybody else feels about it. I'm excited in a sense, you know, because I think it's by people that care about the story and it isn't just randoms. But I don't know how anybody else feels about it. I don't know if you think that maybe it should just be left, you know, like well enough be left alone, or if you want to see how it's all gonna end. I'm not even anywhere near caught up, so like I can't, you know, put in my 2 cents about where the story is and how it's gonna end or how I think it's gonna end, because I'm not anywhere near this. I'm like still really early on. I'm like, I can't even tell you like where I left off. I think I left off on like maybe chapter 100, maybe before chapter 100. Like it's been a really long time since I read it. I think the last time I read through it was like 2015, because I used to read it while I was at work on my lunch breaks. I can't remember where I left off, like what chapter, because I wasn't reading it in volume form. I was reading it in chapter form on a website, like one of those scan sites. So I can't remember where I'd left off. So it's been a really long time for me, and since, you know, when I read it to, you know, now there's a lot of story or a lot of situations that were added, I'm sure, and then, you know, up to when Miura sensei passed away and Koji Mori had actually done a manga about his passing and about being there and seeing Kentaro Miura go still. And that's really like heartbreaking, dude. It's just like someone that you've been friends with. I think they'd been friends since before he even started writing Berserk. So like that's nuts to me, dude. And it just gives me chills thinking about it. Like it gives me chills thinking about it. You know, like you know somebody before they came up and you were there like when it initially came out and like nobody was reading it, and then over time it started to kind of build a fan base. Over like a really long period of time it started to kind of build this massive fan base, but at first like there was nobody reading it. There was maybe like a handful of people that even bought it, and then over time more and more people started to kind of build a relationship with this manga and to have been there from the start, but not being the dude that wrote it, but being the friend of the dude that wrote it. And you're there for it, and you're there for the rise of it, and then you're there for the end of this mangaka's life. But to you, they're your friend. That's your best friend. And it gives me chills, dude. Oh man, that fucking hit. That God, man, that hit. But it's a beautiful story, and I wanna own all of it. I wanna read all of it, and I will 100% celebrate Kentaro Miura's life. I will own all of this. You know, as these volumes come out, I'm gonna collect every single one of them, and I will always save them for last because I want it to be the last thing I talk about in any one of my videos anytime I order these volumes and I get them delivered to me, because even though I haven't caught up with Berserk has meant a lot to me as well. I saw the anime so long ago. It's like 18 years old. I remember being 18 in like 2007 or so, and like talking about Berserk the anime with my boss, who at the time he was like 22, I was 18, smoking a cigarette outside of this restaurant where I worked. I don't smoke anymore, but like, yeah, being outside and just talking about Berserk in like 2007, and just like how wild of a story it was, and watching the anime, and then watching the new anime that came out. I didn't watch the 2016 anime. I didn't watch that. There's no way in hell I'm ever watching that. But watching like the movies that they've done, the new movies that came out, and consuming the Golden Age arc over and over to the point where I'm kind of sick of the Golden Age arc, because I've consumed it so many times in so many different mediums. Between reading the manga and then watching the anime and watching the anime, I watched it like in 2006, 2007, and then rewatching it again in the new movies that had come out, the Golden Age movies that came out. And yeah, I've consumed it so many times now. Built up a relationship with Muta's work, and yeah, I will always support these, and I will own all of it at some point. I will, after all these big volumes come out, I'm gonna collect every single one of them. I'm gonna continue to collect them until I have the whole set. So I think it's an important series. I think it's an important story, and yeah, I want to have it all. So that's it. That's it for me. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I apologize for it being extremely long. I did not want it to be as long as it is, but I had no choice given everything that I brought out and so much that I had to say. But I hope that you enjoyed this, and this is my return to doing these videos, to doing hauls. But like I said, I want you to know that I'm not going to be doing these that often. It's going to be like once every couple of months, but I will still keep doing them. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know this was a long video. I hope that you stuck around through the whole thing. So until next time we meet, please take care of yourselves.